Hey guys, I just wanted to reach out to you and let you know that Surewinder is still selling amazing products. Some of you guys have been dragging your feet for whatever reason. If your shoulder hurts, do not waste time. Pull the trigger. I just bought 4 or 5 of them, and we had 2 guys out. You know how much it cost me to pay for 2 guys being out with bad shoulders? We just pulled the trigger and we said, listen, everybody's going to have one on a truck. It's mandatory. You got to use it. Don't hesitate. Don't wait till your guys go down. It's going to cost you more. Buy a Surewinder.
What's up, Garage Door Nation? Ryan Lucia here, your host, Torsion Talk Podcast. And we're going to continue this series of startup things that you should know when starting a garage door company, lessons learned. I think this is, we've had some feedback, and I think the feedback has been good, even from people who have owned their own company. Matter of fact, I am going to pull up some comments. Here's some comments from some of the people in one of the groups. Extremely informative, smaller things that can be big down the road. Number 1, high visibility door stickers, high level location in a couple of different places inside the garage before you leave, hanging door knockers when you're finished with a job, hang one on the house in the left to the left and one to the right, and the house just to the left. Hang one on the house to the right, left, and then hang one to the house to the right. Really learn every little thing you can about the product you're selling. You never know when the smallest detail will matter to a customer. And them saying yes. As soon as you can afford it, hire more annuity and trust the process. That was not on purpose. I literally am just reading that. Jonathan Gibbs. Colin Partridge. Listened to it earlier today while working as a guy with a new door company. I found this very insightful. I feel like I have food, I think he meant to say good, grasp on things, but it's nice to hear from someone that's gone through it before. The part I will listen to again is about the multiple bank accounts, which money goes where and when and for what. It was excellent advice, as I currently have 2 business accounts, but don't fully utilize them yet. That was Colin and Mitch. Sure as heck wouldn't do anything right now. He's negative Nancy a little bit sometimes. We'll pass on that. And here's some advice from current door companies. Let's see here. Levi Tanner, if you're not connected with him, he's such a good dude. Number 1, don't hesitate. Number 2, be confident. Number 3, find mentors of different sizes and using different models. Number 4, grind when it's time to grind and enjoy time with the family, or you'll lose it all. Number 5, that's great advice. Number 5, build a brand that people recognize and a name they trust. Number 6, don't race to the bottom just to get the work. They will work themselves out of work eventually. That is so true. Number 7, give more value, not more discounts. You can change more this way, but you have to deliver at the same time. Number 8, stressing over SHIT won't change anything. Stay chill and figure out the solution. These are just a few. I feel like these should be givens, but it's not for some. Lee Melahai said, charge high and do a great job. Do not underpay yourself because you're desperate. We work hard enough and deserve to be paid just like any other skillful tradesman. Amen to that, brother. Let's see here. Jim McGrath, one of the pillars and oldest guy in the garage door industry. He's just kidding, Jim. It says it's a garage door. It's not the end of the world. That's all he said, but it's insightful. Donald Mishler says, I was an installer before I opened my company. These are just a few things I learned from the beginning. Number 1, be prepared to work a lot harder than you ever did if you are looking to build your business. Number 2, I thought I would work less and make more the first 5 years. Not the case. I made a great living, but as the owner, you're never off. Number three, today we have just made 10 years in business. I'm not as hands on any longer, but stay away. Oh, stay aware, I think is what he meant, of what is going on at all times. I'm sure I have more, but this is just off the top of my head. Started in 2014 with me in a pickup truck, and today we have 17 trucks on the road. Everyone tells me that just does not happen in business. Kelly Belvin, well, he's another pillar in our industry, super smart. How to build a business, not a job. Build a brand, not a name. Also from Kelly. Roberto Infante, who's in startup mode right now. How much working capital it would take first? Um, Derek Jacobson replied, "Is a good one and likely varies from different people. I'd like to share my experiences. We started with 30K, although maybe could have done it with less. Spent 15K on a used van with shelving and 15K in parts. Stocked them on our shed as we didn't have garage and picked up doors for the day to install. Later grew into a shop. Good feedback. Danny Cutright, he's awesome. If you don't know him, just down to earth. He and his wife are amazing. I wish I knew the right way to run a business is definitely not the way my old employers ran their business. That's such a good lesson. Like, don't duplicate like crappy work. Like, there's probably a reason why you left your employer to go do it better. Don't pick up the same mistakes that they did. Um, Derek Carter, the amount of capital it takes to create a business and not a job. That's good. Derek Jacobson, it also commented on itself, sounds like a cool idea. However, I can't think of much. We have had rather quick success on our new business journey, 2.5 years in and on track to do 1 million this year, being our third year. Life is a journey, and so was launching a business. Lots of learning and what works and what doesn't work. You get what you put out of it. You get out of it what you put in it. Jimmy Davis, get out of the truck as quickly as possible, charge more, and run your business. Great advice, Jimmy. Those are all good things that I think we can take away together as we are trying to grow or start our business. So, super happy that I got to share those with you. Thank you to everyone who shared that information. So, let's jump right in. I've got a couple announcements. Really proud to announce that I spent all day yesterday recording a very short version of my sales training. I have had so many people, especially smaller companies. I'm trying to cater to more smaller companies. I know my marketing agency is not the cheap one. And so we are desperately scrambling, trying to find ways because I'm very passionate about startups, smaller businesses, small companies. And we are trying to come up with a package that we can help small businesses in an affordable way. And I've had a lot of small companies say, I can't afford to ship my guys or can't afford to take off and come down there and do training for 2 days. Things are tight. So we recorded our service professional sales training yesterday, and it's going to take us a little while to get that cut up and uploaded into sections. But there'll be a certificate and everything afterwards after you complete it, and I'm super excited about it. I mean, there's some things in there that's like totally condensed. We cut out objections. We'll have a whole nother video about objections because I feel like that deserves its own kind of training. But we just broke down like the experience and steps to the sale. And so um, we can get nitty gritty and get down into the details and more stuff later. But I wanted to get something out as quickly as possible that I thought would deliver a great amount of value. And so working on that. Also, we are finalizing the negotiation of our new location for Garage Door U Summit 2025. And we are going with a high-end luxury hotel. We are going to be charging you probably less than what it's going to cost us to throw the event on, but we have had some great sponsors show interest, and we are on the verge of closing quite a few of them, which we're really excited about. That'll free up some money for us and allow us to make the rate cheaper than we originally had thought, which was going to be quite expensive. But we also are going to be financing this option as well. So you have that. We also have in-person training coming up. We were doing 1 days. And if you go to garagedoorU.com and then check out the button at the top that says sales training, it will take you to the page. There's a drop down there that shows all the different dates that are available for you to choose. We have implemented new door sales training as well as service training, service sales training. The door sales training is great for owners, business manager, like sales managers, salespeople. Like I'm really going to teach everyone um, how to manage a pipeline, follow up. We're going to spend a lot of time on that as well as the sales process. So just keep that in mind. Let's jump in to the agenda. All right, let's see what we got. What we got today. We're going to tackle marketing. Um, I feel like I am a good person to talk about some of this stuff. Let's talk about naming your company first and foremost. How do you name your company? Um, I don't think this is super important, but I like the idea of it being unique. I would make it easy. I would make sure that you, like we talked about in the last video, that you also check it in the test site or have a attorney do a search, trademark search on the name. Make sure you're good. But for marketing purposes, you want something that is simple, right? Like when I was looking at naming Aaron Overhead Doors, I didn't put hardly any thought into it. It literally was my buddy in California owned Aaron Overhead Doors, and he was like, "Hey, the software company I was with got bought out. I was on my way out, and he said, he said, uh, he said, why don't you start an Aaron Overhead Doors in Atlanta?" That was his company. And I was like, sure, why not? Right. So I flew out for a week, trained, came back and launched the company. Not a whole lot of thought put into the name, to be honest with you. I probably wish I would have, but I like clean and simple. Clean and simple. Um, I like I like names with garage door in them. Um, and then do not put LLC in your name on marketing. That is not needed, or Inc. or whatever. Don't do that. Um, I also would just not put like your city in your name, probably. Um, Unless you have like you adopted a name like I did. We put a city identifier like Atlanta in our name just for the simple fact that we were opening up an Aaron Overhead Doors. And when I did a search, there were other Aaron Overhead Doors in the country as well as my buddy out in California. So just to avoid any confusion, I guess you could say, we put Atlanta at the end of ours. So just put some thought into it. Um, I don't like geographical, um, especially if you're in a small town. If you're in a major city, it probably works to your advantage. If you're not in a major city, I would say probably stay away from it. So be it like if you have a location in Atlanta, that's great. You have a location that's 45 minutes outside of Atlanta. Probably don't want to name it Atlanta because then people are like, oh, that's a city company. They want a local company. And then I don't know, just a lot of things that could happen there. So it's always been kind of my rule of thumb. Let me get a drink real quick. I'm getting cotton mouth here. No, I've not been smoking. Just did not drink any water this morning. I'm playing catch up. All right, domain name. When purchasing your domain name, here's the thing. Guys, listen, I can't tell you how important this is. People underestimate and don't do a good job of this, but buy your domain and uh, I would buy it. When you're buying your domain name, it does not have to be your company name. Okay. Um, Domain names historically can be, you know, AtlantaGarageDoor.com, but you have Air and Overhead Door as your company name. That's perfectly fine because you can optimize the website for your name and people can still find it. I like easy domain names, short, easy. They say keep it under 15. I would try to keep it under 12, which is really difficult because garage door kind of long. If you can fit garage door in there and have a short name, I like names like Apex Garage Door or um Wow Garage Door or uh A1 Garage Door. It's a great name. It's short, sweet, to the point. I think they have like a1door.com or something like that. And if you can, like you can get multiple domains. I always like to buy the different variations like aaronoverheaddoors.com, aaronoverheaddoors.net, aaronoverheaddoors.door.com, aaronoverheaddoor.net, Aaron's overhead door, like a possessive name. So buy the variations so that one of these spam companies don't come in and try to buy it from you as well. I would buy the primary domain and buy it for 10 years. So it'd be a little bit of an expense there. If you're looking at about $10 a year. Also, they're gonna offer you some sort of package, privacy package. Listen, this is where a lot of people get your information to send spam and um, try to um, you know send you a bunch of offers. It just gets spammy. So I don't recommend waiving the extra fee for the privacy. Go ahead and do the privacy if you can afford it. I think it'll cut down on some of the spam in the mail. It'll count down some in your email. Uh, but it provides your information, who owns that domain name, in public records through what's called Who Is, and then they can get your contact information there, mailing address, the whole bit. And that's a lot of these guys will scrape those and then use those to target people for loans or whatever. And some of them are scammers, websites, SEO packages, whatever. So that's some information. I like GoDaddy for domains. That's just me personally. And then I would store this information somewhere that you can never lose it, because you want to make sure that you can always access your domain and always get into it. And sometimes it can be very difficult. So there's that. Now, once you have your domain name, and I had mentioned earlier in the other video, like don't do a at Gmail email address because that's annoying. And then I hate when people put at Gmail, ABC garage doors at gmail.com on their vehicle. Super lame. Don't do that, please. I think it's gonna hurt you more than help you, because like if I see that, I'm gonna be like, what in the world is happening right now? Um, so long story short, we have domain. I would suggest going with Google Suite or what do they call it, Workspace, Google Workspace. It's inexpensive. They got the whole package. Standard business is $12 a user per year. Business starter $6 per user. You get like this houses all of your documents in the cloud, meaning that you can access all of your documents from different devices, different places. It's super easy to set up. You can literally go to Google Workplaces, Workspace, sign up for an account. You can log into your GoDaddy account, you can merge it, and it'll change your DNS records, I believe, to exactly what you need them to be without you having to change the settings. Super easy. You can have email and everything set up within like 5 minutes after you register your domain. Super cool. And I would not do it. I would not use Microsoft or, the GoDaddy email. Okay. Next. Um, I would start working immediately on a logo. And um, there might be some differences of opinions here, but I'm going to share some like absolutely don't do's um, for logos. Okay. So a lot of people put too many details in a logo, and it makes it really, really difficult um, when you try to put that on a t-shirt or a banner or an LED screen, like at a ballpark to be able to read that. So listen, I like simple, flat designs, bold lines, bold text, um, and choose your colors wisely. So I think that don't try too hard. You don't need a garage door in your logo per se. Um, I think it's kind of played a little bit. Um, let's see here. If you can get creative and find a way to use imagery in the place of text, sometimes that's cool, sometimes it's not. Um, if it's really creative and interesting and cool, not cool like 80s or 90s cool, but like cool, like, oh, that was really savvy that they thought of it that way. That's okay. Um, let's see. I would get opinions of people for sure that would fit your classification. So the people that you'd be going after. Um, so for example, like if you want to target a certain demographic of people, I would go to the mall and try to wait for those people outside of stores and ask them if they can, if you're starting a business and you want 1 minute of their time to give you their opinion on your new logo. And I guarantee you'll get some people that stop and are interested in helping you. And just say, hey, what do you think of this one? And maybe have two or three drawn up and just show it to them. Maybe you stand outside of a Gucci store. I don't care. Like whatever it takes, right? Find something.
Hey guys, I found something that changed my business and I want to share it with you. We've created packages that have included some of the best products in our industry to offer our service customers. The heart of that package is Stealth Hardware Kit. Stealth Hardware is the quietest hinges on the market. I challenge you to buy at least one of these, test it for yourself. Put it on your truck and design a quiet performance package for your customers willing to pay for a better, smoother running door. Buy your Stealth Hardware Kit at Service Spring, do a search for Quiet Hinge, and then buy that. You can buy a double or single door, 7 or 8 foot tall, and promise you it'll change your service forever.
Somer USA and Somer Group want to thank you for an incredible year and the trust you put in them and their products. As you know, Somer places high value on relationships, education, customer service, innovation, and professionalism. And they are grateful to you for your part in the fostering and dissemination of these values. If there is any way Somer can support you in your journey, whether through their products, the values they hold to, or the knowledge Somer has gained through interaction with door dealers across the world, please reach out to the team at your convenience. They are here to serve you. Again, thank you from the entire Somer team. Check them out at somerusa.com. Tell them Ryan sent you.
Not only that, you can get people to follow your new page and your journey. Also, when building a logo, you want a vector logo, a PNG, a JPEG, PDF. I like also getting a brand guide that kind of shares the do's and don'ts of the logo, the colors, the color numbers, the raw numbers, and everything like how to use the logo, how not to use the logo, what color backgrounds do you use, what color backgrounds do you not use. So, I don't like white logos or really light logos. They need to be colorful and pop because you're going to most likely, a lot of times, put them on the back of white. But they also need to be in a way where they can pop on color backgrounds. So a little bit of a challenge. Now, a lot of people
don't think of these things and they go to like, Fiverr and pay $100 and get a couple logos and it turns into a disaster. Um, Not a big fan of that. Also, I feel like a lot of times um, they'll use a logo that's already out there and then um, they'll modify it, which could put you in a position where you get sued, right? Um, so I would stay away from in cursive writing in the logo. Let's see what else. Understand the psychology of colors. Like you could literally just Google um like color psychology chart or something like that and get the different colors and how people respond to them. Let's see here. Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't add more than you have to. Like it should be easy on the eyes. Don't use like a common font. Excuse me. Google like best fonts for logos or simple logos and find some of those that you might like. Let's see. Oh, and then you need an icon. So I would design the logo horizontally and then also design an icon that you can use independently that doesn't have your name. And that'll be like a square or round logo that just represents your brand. So that is my pitch on logos. I like flat designs. Um, keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Now that you have the logo, you got the name, you got the domain, you can start working on the website and your social media. First thing I would do is go out and start building out your social media. I mentioned this in the last one. Like you want all of your social media, you want people to be able to go to your Facebook and your Instagram and know it's the same company right out of the gate, like within seconds. Now there are different platforms, so there's gonna be some differences, but I would probably keep your profile picture the same for both. Maybe it's that icon that we talked about earlier. Um, Out of the gate, I'd start branding and organically because it's a lot less expensive. And then I would focus on making sure that I'm posting content, maybe talking about your journey, how you got nothing to talk about with garage doors at the moment. So I would start posting about how you're starting your company and the journey, maybe doing some videos about your journey and all what you're learning and get people bought in on the path that you're taking. Like I've seen that happen very successfully and I love it because people are invested. They remember 5 years later down the road how you started your door company, how you started from nothing, and here you are, you're starting to become successful, and they love that journey, love to support you, and then when you launch, they're trying to help you by sending customers your way. So I love that. I would definitely take that approach. I would recommend that to all startup companies. Not you don't have to post all about garage doors. People can't relate to that. People can relate to your story of jumping out in fear and starting a business, laying it all on the line and then as soon as you possibly can, I would hire for SEO unless you have a good understanding of SEO. And there's a lot of bad advice on YouTube and a lot of bad advice online for SEO, like have AI build it. Listen, they just did a, huge sweep of websites that got knocked down on the ranking really bad for having AI content. Google is all about useful content. And I've been hearing since 2020, I'm sorry, 1999, since I started in this. Like within a few years, people started talking about, oh, SEO's dead. SEO is going to die. Google search is going away. Like this has been going on for a very, very, very long time. And it still happens today. And I don't believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. But here's what I know is that if Google gives in to the AI idea of creating websites and content, they lose the integrity of their product. what makes their product so great in ways is that it's produced with knowledgeable, accurate content for websites like mine and what yours is going to be, right? It's written in ways by professionals who understand the needs of the customers, and you just can't get that from AI right now. And I don't know, like, if AI is writing content for every website, whose website ranks better. And so I genuinely believe that Google is going to do their best to um, separate the good, well-written content from the automated content. So, long story short, content, new, fresh, great written content has always been the the answer, in my opinion. So SEO is also a great way to get business to compound on itself, but honestly, it's like it's one of the most difficult things to do in the beginning because it costs so much to do it because the people that you hire, they really need to be plugged into like what they're doing and all the changes that are happening on a weekly basis in SEO. And that takes a ton of time. Then they got to have time to work on your stuff every single month. And that takes a lot of time. And so having a well-built website, by the way, let's go back to website because I think this is super important. Do not buy your domain through your marketing agency, number one. Number two, um, do not ink a deal with a website company or a logo company that tries to get ownership of your logo or your website or your brand. I don't advise that. Um, a lot of contracts will offer you like a cheap or free website, but you cannot take the website with you if you leave the marketing agency. And a lot of times they'll lock you in with a domain. So you get 3 or 4 years down the road, you're building your reputation. All of a sudden, you got to change your website, and that company's got their website. Well, they can sell the leads coming in to your competitor, and people are searching for your company. This is a huge no-no. I do not recommend it. Keep possession of your domain, keep possession of your logo, the rights of your logo, the website too. Like you want to own the website, you want to own the content. Ask the marketing agency, do I own this content? Do like you're writing it, but do I own it? Do I own the website? Do I own the imagery? Do I own everything on the site? Do I, if I leave, can I take it with me? Those are all questions you want to ask, and you do want to be able to take it with you. So SEO is difficult because it costs so much up front, and then um, there's a little bit of a delayed response to that. And part of the challenge with that is, like, if you've been doing SEO for 3 months, you're a brand new website, you have no authority on the marketplace, and you're going up against companies who have been doing it for 20 years. Like, you're not going to rank overnight. So it's going to take time, especially with a new website. It's very difficult. Sometimes we see new websites jump up really fast and then all of a sudden drop. So it just depends. It's a good foundation though, because it compounds on itself. And if you really wanted to, if you could dig your heels in and push through and hustle and invest into SEO, it compounds on itself. And it is one of the best investments, but it's one of the most difficult. So you're financing your now for later. And that's the mindset you got to have. You got to invest for the future and you got to invest for now, but you don't want to look too far out because if you look too far out, you may not even make it. Pay per click. Let's talk about paid advertising. Paid pays for clicks. Um, you do not want to build your business on this because it's like quicksand. Pay per click never gets cheaper. And the problem with this is that if AdWords or Bing ads or whatever changes and or you get kicked off and that's your primary source of income and you built your business on it, you're screwed. I do not recommend this. I've seen too many companies go under because they can't keep up with the expense of ads, and it grows fast. It can get expensive. And if you need to grow, you got to spend more in ads. And there will be a point of diminished return there that you will not get as good of a rate of return. So I recommend pay-per-click, but there is a limit. I'll give you an example. Like I only spend about 6, 7 grand a month in paid ads. I'm not a fan. I target specific things and that's it. So that's my opinion of paid ads. I do like them out of the gate because it's a quick fix for getting leads if done properly. Now, a lot of business owners say they do it really well for themselves. And then when I check it, they don't. I also know of like some gurus in our industry and they do an okay job with it. Some not good at all. And I don't know. Like, I think you should be tracking it. I think the landing page should be isolated. You should have a landing page that's not connected or doesn't have a menu to your existing website. Isolate the lead, put a call tracking number on there, put form, put all types of hard call to actions with some offers for people to call. Um, and I think that's the route. That's what works with pay per click. All right, let's go to social media. This is your moneymaker. Invite all your friends to your social media, your haters, your loved ones, your friends, everybody. Invite them to your social media and start posting now. Like, I don't think you can start this too early. You may even get people reach out to you for jobs before you even start, and that's freaking great. Like, if you can try to make that happen. If you're working for someone else, like make sure that you're not breaking contract or that you're not taking advantage of the owner that you work for. I do honestly believe if you start a business with stealing, theft, or manipulating, um, you're not going to make it. I just don't think. I I don't believe in karma, but I do believe in building things on the right foundation. So keep that in mind as well. Let's see here. Email campaigns. Get your customers used to getting emails from you after the sale. So there's different ways for you to be able to communicate with them. I have a platform that if you hit me up, I'll hook you up. I believe I'm not going to throw out a price, but I'm talking cheap. I can probably hook you up with this platform that I use where it's like a CRM and you could set up like automatic emails to go out and then you can send bulk emails out there. Um, it can do so much. It tracks a bunch of stuff. It's like all of your social media and leads can go into one inbox, which is huge because nobody likes um, being able to or having to go to each individual one and check messages and try to remember who you chatted with. Like you can keep up with all those conversations in one place, including like live chat. Um, if you have leads sent to you through Home Advisor or whatever, you can push them all into this inbox and you can track them and then track your sales and everything. It's great. But you want to definitely keep in touch with the people um, that hire you. And I think setting the expectations that you're going to communicate with them on a pretty regular basis, I think is important. So get them used to that email and start sending that email out on a monthly or bi-monthly basis. Google Business Profile. Get this started as soon as humanly possible. I would say by the time you get the domain, you do not need the logo. You got your company name, you got your domain, and you don't even need your website yet. Now, this is very important for garage door business. I want you to set up Google um, Google Analytics and just escaped me. Oh man, it's been a long day. Um, Search Console. Oh my goodness. I apologize for that. It has been a really long day. Go ahead and set up Search Console, put the snippet of code for verification on there before you submit for your Google Business Profile. This is very important. And it's a great step that not a lot of people do up front. And I think that if you do it right, it'll help you get this approved quicker and you can start getting reviews. But Google Business Profile, you want to fill that out completely. If you're starting out of a house, make sure you set the settings properly. Meaning, there are 3 primary settings. This is one of the main reasons why these things get taken down. You serve people at their address, you serve people at your address, or a combination of the two. I'm going to give you examples of each.
All right. So you're working out of your house. You do not serve people at your house. You only at people's addresses. So that would be you serve people at their address. Um, you serve people at your address only. That would be like Chick-fil-A or a movie theater, right? So that would be the setting for them. A combination of the two would be like Home Depot. You can go to the store, you can buy something, but they can also come install it. So they can market as both, but they have a physical location. So with this, if you are starting out of your house, I would definitely make sure that you change the setting. The house is fine, but change the setting to you only service people at their address. Create your service area, fill it out completely. They do not like brand names in the description of your Google business profile. Also, your business, your title or your business name needs to reflect the same as like what you're going to be working as. So leave the LLC out of it. Don't put that in there, please, or the Inc. Just put like Air and Overhead Doors. And then here's a trick that not many people know. Google Guidelines allows you to put a city identifier in the name. Now, you're only going to get about 5 miles of radius out of this Google business profile in most cases, depending on the saturation of your market, whatever. So it is beneficial to you to put in your local city name, wherever you're based out of. That 3 to 5 mile radius around you will see that name. Now, Google puts a lot of weight in the algorithm to whatever's in that name. So if you have Air and Overhead Doors Buford, like I'm based in Buford, Georgia, then when people do a Google search for garage door repair Buford, I've got an exact word match, and it's going to put me up closer to the top. The reason why the algorithm does that is because they've got to be able to identify when people are searching for your physical name, your company name. And so if they search Air and Overhead Doors, a lot of times they eliminate my competition and just put me on the side panel and make it really big. That is part of the challenge that they have. So that's why a lot of people put spam and they put in like garage door repair Buford as their business name on the spam companies. So keep that in mind. Now there's other things with Google Business Profile, but you want to make sure that you verify, get everything set up. If you can, get your website up and put your tracking code on there, and verification code with Google Search Console, Google Analytics, and do your verification process. Be upfront and honest about everything. Do your photos or whatever. If you can get business cards ahead of time, that's great. You got a better chance of getting approved. You can show as much information as humanly possible. All right. Now, if you're trying to do a office, there's a lot of restrictions. I'm not going to go into that right now because I don't think a lot of people are starting with an office out of the gate, but there's some hacks and tricks. I'm not going to share them here because I do know spam companies do listen to my podcast sometimes, and I don't want to give them any more ideas than they already have. All right. Local recreational parks. Listen, you can pay like $1,000 and get a banner up for 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months in a recreational park. I think that's a win, especially if you can get on every field for that amount. I know here I can pay $1,000. I think I get on every scoreboard on a digital. So little things like that I think are great investments. You get involved in the community. You take a picture, put it on the website, show that you're invested in the community and you're invested in the parks. So that's good. Now, yard signs. Listen, every time you go to a house, you need to put a yard sign in the yard while you're working. Ask the customer when you're leaving if you can leave it out there. I honestly, I know you're going to piss some people off, but probably not a bad idea. Just when you pull up, just jump out, put a sign in the yard before you even pull into the driveway, and then tell them that you're going to take it out. If they freak out, you can just go out there and grab it. But um, I would say a yard sign in your truck in the yard is great. Door hangers, as mentioned earlier in one of the Facebook groups, one of the guys mentioned putting a door hanger on the neighbors' houses. I think that's a wonderful idea. Listen, I would have done this sooner. Buy lists, right? So there's ways for you to buy lists of targeted people, and I would do direct mail. So I would either buy a list or I would use Every Door Direct EDM.
through USPS, and I would target primary neighborhoods that I absolutely want to be in, and I would start mailing them every month. And you're looking at probably only spending, like, you could be really effective with some really core, really good neighborhoods for anywhere from $300 to $1,000 a month. Now you got to get postage and print, all that stuff, but the postage would be part of that 300 to 1,000. So you just got to print them. Direct mail, you can also buy a list of people, and these are people who are homeowners, like certain areas, zip codes, whatever, neighborhoods. Like, you can get really granular and just start hitting those neighborhoods like all the time. So maybe you want to buy a list of, 5,000 people, and you want to buy that list in your zip code, and you only want homes that are 7 years or older, and maybe a certain square footage. And like, that's the approach I would take, something like that. And then I would try to connect with somebody who can design you a postcard or some type of card that you can mail to those people every single month, every month, and just hit them hard. That would be the way I would do it. So it's an inexpensive way, and it is a little bit of an investment, and you may not get all of it back in the beginning. But here's what's going to happen. Those people are going to get your card. They're going to see it. You're going to be in there. They're going to see your truck. They're going to see your sign. And then they have their neighborhood next door or Facebook group. People start recommending you, and then you start getting that momentum in that neighborhood, and whoever was in there before just gets booted out. And then now you're in there, and then you move on to the next neighborhood. I think that's super, super effective. You got to get really granular and specific when it comes to your marketing when you're new, and you can't overspend. So hyper targeted campaigns that may not yield you a huge result in the beginning, but compound on itself over time will be super effective. So I am at 45 minutes ish. So I wanted to cut this off at 45. I know there's probably some more that we could talk about, but I think this will get you started really well. If you have any questions, make sure you hit me up. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm working on a plan for the next podcast. I think it'll be super helpful, and I hope you enjoyed today. Take care.